Assalamu alaikum, ladies. Welcome to the bonus live of the 5 Day Sugar Rehab. And today we have another drawing. Couple of things. Number one, Kauthar, you won, I believe, day 4 of the challenge. You must reach out to us with your email address. Send us a message. If you do not claim your prize by the end of the day, we will reward it to another person who who did the homework for that day. So very important that you reach out to the Fit Muslimah page and send us your contact information so that you can get your gift card. So today's drawing is going to talk to me by the end of the week and get a straight coaching session, right? Straight coaching. Who are we going to get? We have 8 people that would like some expert advice on how to reach their health and fitness goals. All right, I'm going to put my computer down a little bit so that you can see the fairness of what we're doing. So, the person that wins the free coaching session is Mariam Ibrahim. I will talk to you very soon. Please message our page so that I can send you my calendar link so that we can jump on a call and I can help you create a plan for your health and fitness goals. You know what I love about the way that these drawings are working is, alhamdulillah, several of you have been really engaged and you've done the homework every single day. And every day we choose a different person. Like there's certainly a possibility that we could have chosen one person multiple times, but as the qadr has it, every day we've chosen a different person. And so we are spreading the love, spreading the health and wellness among the ummah. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. All right. So, Mariam Ibrahim, you have won a complimentary coaching session. Promise no selling. We're just going to jump on a call and I'm going to let you pick my brain for a full 30 minutes, whatever you'd like to devise. If your challenge is creating a sustainable workout program, creating a sustainable eating program, I want you to have all of your questions and your wish list ready because you and me, babe, we about to get it on. All right. We have our drawing for the day. So, alhamdulillah, today we are going to talk about what does a lifestyle program looks like. We're going to talk about how long does it take a person to achieve various goals, and we are going to be joined in a little while from one of my ladies, Andrea. We talked about, or I posted about her a little bit earlier this morning, and you are going to get an opportunity to hear straight from her exactly what her experience has been like in the program, what is the things that she's achieved and how she's achieved them. One of the things that I think is really important when we talk about achieving goals, getting coaching is sort of like, and one of the reasons why people follow people online is like to just take little tidbits, little bits of information that you can apply to your life from people who have been successful, not just from people who have been successful, but from people who have been successful who are similar to you, right? So, one of the things, so Andrea's story may not resonate with everybody, but it probably is going to resonate with a lot of you, because if it wasn't, then you wouldn't be in this group. That is why these lies are exclusive to this group, because we have a common struggle, a common interest. And so I think many of you will relate to Andrea. Alhamdulillah, inside of the program, we coach women from all over the world. Andrea actually does not live in the United States. She actually lives in the UK. And she will be joining us in a little bit. So let's talk a little bit about how we set and achieve goals. And I want to make this, again, I keep saying I'm going to make this like a 30-minute live. Let's just be honest. We're going to be here for about 45 minutes. All right. Let's just be honest. All right. So one of the things that you will often hear me say is that, which is contrary to what people normally hear, is there's no such thing as a healthy food. There's no such thing as the best diet or the best way to eat, right? All of these things are very relative. They're relative to your current health status. They're relative to what you hope or what you're trying to achieve in your health status. And they're relative to what your particular goal is. And those are three very different things. So, as I was mentioning a few lives ago, right, there's no such thing as a universally healthy food. Example, tomatoes. Tomatoes are perfectly healthy. In fact, they have one of the highest forms of lycopene, which is an antioxidant that prevents many type of cancer. In particular, I know this is a woman group, but in particular, prostate cancer. If you have a husband, a man in your life that you love, and they can tolerate or they have no aversions or allergies to tomatoes, lycopene has been specifically shown to help to reduce and help to stop the decrease the reoccurrence of prostate cancer. So that's just a quick little side note for all the men in our lives that we love and we want to keep healthy, particularly cooked tomatoes. So this is a total side note, and sometimes I get off on these tangents. So there's two sort of like super nutrients. I'm using quotation marks if you're just listening to me because you can't watch me. A little air quotes, super nutrients, right? Inside of tomatoes. One of them is vitamin C, as we all know. The other one is lycopene. And this goes to the argument of, oh, should we be eating foods raw or cooked? Again, depends on your goals, right? So when it comes to vitamin C, like tomatoes have the highest amount in its raw form. However, in order to release and increase the lycopene, which is the antioxidant, you need to cook it. When they did research about and they measured the levels of vitamin C and lycopene in a raw tomato, then cooked it for 10 minutes, cooked it for 20 minutes, cooked it for 30 minutes, and measured both of those nutrients. The longer they cooked it, the vitamin C decrease, not like it got rid of it. So you're still getting some vitamin C, but the longer they cooked it, the lycopene increased as much as 300%. So if your goal is, I want to increase the amount of vitamin C in my diet, eat raw tomatoes. If your goal is, I want to get more antioxidants in my diet, eat cooked tomatoes. So there is no black and white. Should we eat cooked food or raw food? We should eat both. But my whole point of talking about tomatoes was to talk, besides that, that's a good part about tomatoes. Besides that is there's no such thing as a universally healthy food. So tomatoes are absolutely healthy, right? It promotes those health benefits that I just talked about. But if you have acid reflux, if you have tomatoes or acidic foods is often a type of food that exacerbates eczema, if you have those things, then that's probably not a healthy food for you. So, this is also one of the reasons why I have a particular niche of women who I work with. There are certain women who I work with. People often ask, like, why do I have an application in order to work with me? Because my program is not a fit for everybody. An example of that is I don't work with vegans. I am not saying that you should not be a vegan or you're wrong for choosing that lifestyle. Do you, boo? Whatever works for you, do it. However, I choose not to work with women who are vegan because, one, my personal opinion based on my health philosophy is that this is not a natural lifestyle that optimizes health. That's number one. And number two, in today's environment, in order for me to create a healthful diet with this lifestyle, we have to supplement with a lot of non-whole foods. And I don't like creating programs like that. I do not like to give people a program where I'm telling you to go get veggie burgers or you have to supplement with protein powder or things like that. Like, I just don't do that. There are plenty of vegan coaches that will help you achieve your goal, but that's sort of like one of the things that I personally do not do. And so that helps with people who want to achieve the things in which I help people achieve. So, what are the goals that we're going to talk about? So, we're going to talk about I'm going to give you an insight of what you can do in order for you to achieve your goals and create sort of realistic goals in the process. So the first thing that we want to talk about is defining your goals. So this is step one. No matter who you are or what you're trying to achieve, is you have to define the goal. When someone says, I say, what's the goal? They say, I want to develop a healthy relationship with food. I want to be fit. That is not a goal. A goal is quantitative. If you ask me, can you help me to get fit? My question to you is going to be, how do we know when you've achieved that? Is it a feeling? Is it a thing? Is it a certain amount of reps? Is it how fast you can run? Like, you have to define a quantitative goal. That is the number one step. Do not go into any type of health and fitness program with something that is general, like, oh, I am joining to improve my relationship with food. What does that mean? How do we know? Are you trying to, um, are you anorexic? Are you bulimic? Do you have a food addiction? Are we like actually approaching those things? Which, by the way, I also do not coach people with those particular issues, right? That actually requires mental health therapy. And I encourage, if those are your issues, then you should seek the help of a therapist. Anorexia, bulimia, food addiction. It is an actual diagnosis. There are, if you actually Google food addiction groups, there are group therapy that can help you with that as well, right? And it's an actual diagnosis. So it's not just, oh, I'm greedy and I have sugar cravings. There's actually a diagnosis for food addiction. Those are also, so if you have mental health issues related to eating, I also do not coach women with that because I am not a mental health therapist. I know my lane and I stay in it. All right. Not last, I gotta stop saying that. So create a quantitative goal, right? That's number one. Number two, When you create a quantitative goal, we're talking about health and wellness, you always want to create a goal that is beyond just what the scale says. So, for example, um, when you do for example, in our program, we have people to set three specific goals. One is weight, because I am primarily a weight loss coach, right? So we deal with that symptom of your health. Number two, your fitness, right? Physical fitness is an essential part of health. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much you weigh. I don't care how successful you are. I don't care how much money you have. If you are not physically fit, then you are not living your best life. If you are not exercising, then you are not optimizing your health. I don't care how many supplements you're taking or green juices you're drinking. If you are not exercising, you're not optimizing your health. And eventually, you will succumb to health problems. Human beings are meant to move. Human beings need to physically challenge their muscles, bones, and joints in order to maintain and improve health. Even if you have no idea where to start with what you're eating, you need to move. You need to make sure that you are physically moving. Thirdly, we have people to set an aesthetic goal, meaning, um, do you want to fit into one size smaller clothing? Do you want to reduce your waist by a certain amount of inches? So, for example, we talked a couple of lives ago, and we talked about um, the health measurement for waist circumference, right? So whatever your height is, meaning like you are a certain height, say you're 5 feet, that means you're 60 inches. Your waist circumference should not be more than 30, right? So when it comes to research about healthy weight, you want to make sure that your height in inches, your waist, meaning measuring your waist with a measuring tape, um, is not more than half your height in inches. I know I have y'all doing lots of calculations, but I just want to get Andrea on. I see that she is with us. Hold on. Eh, hold on. So that's what you need to do. You need to set quantitative goals, and then you need to set a goal beyond just the scale. Fitness goal, aesthetic goal, and a scale goal. Not saying that the scale is not important, because it is a symptom of health. It is a predictor of health issues. So the scale is not the only measurement, but it certainly is a measurement. All right. So those are really important when you talk about setting your goals. The second thing that you also want to be, or the next thing you want to be aware of, is you want to be aware of is it's not an overnight process. You did not gain weight in 2 weeks. You're not going to lose all your weight in 2 weeks. It is a process. I see Andrea has joined us, and she is an excellent example of how it is a process. Assalamu alaikum, Andrea. How are
Walaikum
you?
salam, coach. How are you?
I am good. So I am talking about goal setting. We are talking about achieving your goals and looking at your goals long term.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I always like to point out with your success in the program is how, like, when you joined, you knew it was going to be a process, and you were like, I'm in it for a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the way that you have approached it, sort of like step by step, is certainly the one of the key components to your success. So, what I would like for you to do is if you could just introduce yourself to the ladies here.
So hi everyone, my name is Andrea. Assalamu alaikum. I've been with Coach for a little bit more than a year now. I finished my 1 year subscription. I was like, yeah, we need to continue because, as Coach said, it's a working process. It's not like a 6 months and you're done, especially for the weight that I want to lose. I am halfway there, and I know I still got a few years to go in my journey. But I love being with Coach because she sets everything up for me, so it makes the journey easier.
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
Can you, if you can remember back to sort of like before you join, what was happening or what made you like want to join a program and get a coach? Why did you join the program?
Okay, so a couple of reasons. The first one is I did all the lovely diets by myself, and it was to the point maybe a couple of years ago when I was exercising, intense exercising 6 to 7 days a week, so almost every day for like 40 minutes. And, at the time, I didn't know how nutrition affects you in terms of your macros, like protein, fat, and carbs. I didn't realize that I do want protein and fat. I thought those were like the no-nos. So my approach when it came to diet, it was mainly, okay, let's cut out everything and let's just focus on veggies and grains and all that lovely stuff. I did that for like almost 8 months. In those 8 months, I lost about 5 kilos. And I also forgot to know that I have PCOS. So for me, it's an extra struggle to lose weight. I was working against my body, not with my body at the time, because, I had that perception that I do need to eat more veggies. I do need to eat more grains. In my head, I was like, okay, we need to cut the rice and the pasta, but I can have a little bit of everything and it's fine. As long as I'm under the calories. But it just left me feeling just hungry all the time. I'm not gonna lie, hungry constantly. And it wasn't working because like 8 months you put so much work into it, and you would expect to see a little bit more results. And I am that type of person that I like to analyze stuff. So first day of let's lose weight, you start the Excel spreadsheet and having all these calculations as to how much weight you're gonna lose in the end of the year. And it was so sad because every time I had to readjust my expectations. Okay, in a month, we're not losing a kilo, maybe like a quarter of a kilo. So it was very not motivating for me that way. And then I just gave up because I was like, well, if I'm putting all this work and nothing is happening, what's the point of not eating the stuff that I do enjoy and binge on food? Why do I need to stop that if all I did was lose 5 kilos and I'm literally at the same point? The reason why I got the coach the second time, again, a couple of reasons. So in my head, I had a ceiling as to how much I can weigh, and I was very close to that ceiling, and it drew a panic in my head. I was like, I'm very close to it, and it was during COVID time as well. And it was more of an excuse to sit home and eat without no one judging. It's like, oh, we don't have anything else to eat, so we can just eat. So that was one. Then the other thing is, I've always been like a sporty person during high school, like always in sports. So I quite enjoy being active. I consider myself like an athletic person in terms of playing sports. I quite enjoy that. But then what happened is I noticed like to pray Salah, to go down and come back just 4 rakas, and I was exhausted. I was like, my breathing was not right. Going up one flight of stairs, I was literally have to put effort. And it's like you look at yourself in the mirror and just like, is this how I want life to be? Like really, I'm still young. I know I have it in me. I know what I'm capable of, because I know I've exercised before and I've exercised hard. I was like, maybe it's not the exercise that I'm doing wrong. Maybe it's the nutrition. Maybe I'm missing something. And I was still following your coach. And I was like, okay, I'll just go look in her Instagram for a few tips and tricks. I'll start implementing those. But for me, as I said, for me to do something, it needs to make sense to me. And, you know, snippets here and there on your Instagram was like, okay, that's fine. But it doesn't make a connection for me. And I tried that for like a couple of weeks. And I was like exhausted from the amount of information, the amount of conflicting information everywhere, or do this, don't do that, do this and do that. And I wasn't really lifting weights. It was more about like cardio and moving your body. So I never really touched the weight until I started the program. So how I started the program, I was like, you know, I'm just honestly exhausted just these 2 weeks of trying to figure out what's right for me. And honestly, I don't have the skills or the knowledge to do what I need my body to do. So I was like, I need an expert here, because I don't have time to lose. And I think it was the time I was hitting my 30s as well. I was like, I want to have more children, you know, I want to be able to do more stuff. And my weight is a very big block for me in achieving those things. So I was like, I'll just leave it to the professionals. And I liked your approach because it was different. It wasn't that babying, like, oh, you can have a little bit of everything here and there, because I've done that and I know it doesn't work for me. I've done the whole vegan vegetarian type of diet and it doesn't work for me. So I gave up cheese. Cheese is a very big thing for me, okay? So when I joined your program and it says I can have cheese, you cannot understand how happy I was. I was like, take everything away, but please.
What is life without cheese?
So yeah.
Alhamdulillah. And you know, hearing your story is just so common. And what I see for women is that we have sort of like this, it is eat more grains, do more cardio, eat more grains, do more cardio. And it's supposed to work. And then when it doesn't, it completely frustrates you. So what are some of the biggest changes that you have been able to make over the last year that you feel like your body responded to?
So going into this, I think for me it was, this is my last chance. If I don't commit to it, like there's no like help for me. So I know it sounds very very like final thing and that's it, there's no more to life. But for me, that's what I needed to do for me to get out of a lot of habits, because I had a lot of bad habits. I mean, I do recognize them now. But for example, I was that type of person. For me, it's cultural to have like rice or pasta with every meal, or potatoes. So with every meal, I used to go for second plate and third plate. It was just, I think I wasn't eating right. I was limiting the stuff that I wasn't meant to be limiting. But I think for me, I think fasting is one of the things that I do enjoy, because I used to do it before. Like, delay your breakfast. That, for me, that was something that came naturally. Although I wasn't doing it right in terms of what you can drink and not drink so your body can benefit. For me, that was like a very easy transition into doing. So that was one of the first steps I introduced. And then cutting down the sugar. Oh my God, there is sugar everywhere. It's fascinating, like how sugar is just in literally everywhere. So I tried to understand labels. I think that was the next step for me, trying to actually read the stuff. And I reached the conclusion that if it's a packaged thing, I'm not gonna eat it. And it helped me a lot, especially with like, because we're following sort of a low carb keto thing. You have a lot of keto desserts and all that. But I was like, I don't want to eat dessert, because mentally for me, it allows a door for other stuff. And I was like, this is not it for me. I just want to, like, if I make it, that's fine, I can eat it. But if it comes in a package, I'll just leave it away, because I didn't want to, you know, I wanted to be dedicated to the program and to like actually doing what's right for me. But cutting out all sugars, grains especially, I've noticed a very big difference as to how my body feels. For example, before, my body would always feel bloated and just a constant like irritability. I don't know how to explain it, but just bloated. And I thought that was normal. Normal to be like, oh, it's just the day, or this is how you are. But as soon as I've started cutting down on sugar and a lot of the junk food that I used to eat, what I noticed is like I feel like my body has been cleansed, and I know that I know how my body feels. For example, I think I've given it enough time to heal, because, for example, right now when I eat something, for example, let's take a veggie or something, I'll notice exactly the result it will have on my body. Or I remember once we had a flex day for it, and I decided to have my favorite pasta dish. The effect that I felt after the food, it was the worst thing ever. And that's how I used to feel every single day before starting on this program. So you would get the crash, I would get like really tired. And now I just had food, you know. This is not how it should be. Like, if you eat food, you're meant to be like, you know, you ate food, you have energy now. But I never got that feeling. But now on this program, I will eat, and that's it. I can just continue. I don't need to go have a nap or lie down or feel like, oh gosh, this food, like moving my mouth up and down was really tiring. I need to have a nap. Like, I don't get that anymore, you know. I feel like I am a lot more in tune with my body as to what bothers me and what not. And also, one more thing, as soon as I have sugar, those flex days, I sort of regret them sometimes, because I have to deal with the aftermath straight away. So aftermath will be feeling very bloated. Is it groggy? Like, just not feeling well, feeling a bit nauseous, and then I start getting pimples the next day. When I say the next day, I do mean the next day. I can get pimples here and everywhere, and my skin cleared through this program, you know. And I was like, finally, I have the skin I was meant to have at 18, you know.
I love that. I love that. Yes. So it not just what sugar does to us internally, but our skin is our largest organ. So if things are going awry internal, it's going to show on our skin as well. So that is really good. So if you can share with the ladies, what have you achieved inside of the program? If you want to share some of your results of what you've achieved in the program.
So in terms of weight, I think I'm about 31 plus something kilos down, which for a person that I struggled for a year to lose 5 kilos, this is like a very big achievement for me. I still have a lot to lose. I still have continuing my journey on it. But I mean, 30 kilos is like a child, you know? So that's how, in terms, I'm thinking of it, like how many small people I can lose now. So that's one of the bigger things. But I think in terms, the biggest impact, it's the lifestyle for me, and the energy that I have, and how it impacts my life outside of, like, for example, with my child, with my husband. Like, I can go, for example, my husband, he loves hiking and going up in the mountains, and before, my excuse would be, I don't like to sweat, you know, so I don't want to go anywhere near that stuff. But now I'm like, yeah, let's go for it, because I know I have the capacity to do it, and I'm not gonna get tired within the first 2 minutes. So I think for me, it allowed me flexibility. And I think one more thing that bigger people might relate, for example, is because I've always been overweight, so my mind learned to work. For example, if I want to go to a theme park, in my head, I'm going to be like, I can't do this and this and this and that, because they have weight restrictions. no idea what the weight restrictions is, but I was like, I'm pretty sure I cannot be on it. Or, you know, when they put the seatbelt and the seatbelt won't close, it happened to me. And I was like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. So it's sort of shifting my mindset as to, I don't have to limit myself on stuff that I want to do. If I want to go on a theme park, like, I hate them, but like if I want to, I can. I don't have to worry, will I fit in or not. So it's starting to get a lot of these worries out of my head, and it's refreshing because, you know, when people say, oh, let's go there, I don't have to go and Google and search like a billion stuff restrictions whether I can do it or not. So that's a small thing that I think a lot of normal people, like thin people, don't think about it. But if you're overweight, it always plays in your head. The other thing is, I fell in love with working out. Again, before I started, I was like, I'm never stepping into a gym. It's so boring. It's so like not for me. And because my experience with the gym was basically doing cardio and just being on the treadmill, even now I do hate it. You know, I complain about it constantly. But for me, gym is something a lot different. It's a place where I can go challenge myself. And with weightlifting, I feel like you have to think to do it. It's not just let's just go walk and you just clear your mind. I think with weightlifting, you have to be intentional as to how you position your body, because if you don't do it right, that means it can lead to injury. So you have to be very thoughtful and in the moment with what you're doing, and feeling the muscles at work. And honestly, like, the strength that I have gained through this, I mean, I can compete with my husband to the gym now, you know, so not fully, but, you know, I can go there. I can go there, you know. I mean,
I love that.
his squat game wasn't good, so it gives him the motivation to do a little bit more, you know. Yeah.
I love that. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
So
but I'm at
the other question that I have is, so oftentimes you give such a great example of how it's transformational when you lose weight, not just for what the scale says, but the lifestyle and your mental, physical, and lifestyle. What would you say to somebody who they're thinking about joining, they're thinking about embarking on a journey, but they have hesitations? They just sort of like procrastinating. What would you say to her?
See, I think that's a bit tricky for me because I've been in the procrastination phase and I regret it. You have to come in the mindset that you're doing this for you, you know, because if you don't do it for you, then it doesn't really matter. I know it sounds cliche, but when you come in, just think of it as your own time to, you know, give back to yourself, and then in turn you can like give back to the people that you actually want to or love. For me, it's just do it. I know it sounds very simple, but just do it, because like, I wish I had started this years ago, like years and years ago, because it's a different type of freedom, you know. But for me, it's like, just do it. It's going to be a struggle, you know, like some people don't like engage straight away. For me, it was more of a like, either we do it or like there's no like a backup plan. So I was very strict with myself, and it might sound a little bit more militant than other approaches, but that's the type of personality I am, and I know that's what works for me. But definitely take the step, because, okay, let's say you don't start 100% on it. Slowly you'll start building some steps and building some good habits. And I think the one thing that you did for me, coach, was you helped me click in my mind how what you put in your body affects you and how it affects you. For example, no idea about like blood sugars or insulin or none of that, you know. I didn't know how it affects my body. And I think you helped me connect those dots. And that's when I was able to look at the food from a different perspective, because food for me was a lot about entertainment or experience. It wasn't about what's the nutritional value of that food and what it actually does to your body. So I think that's a big thing for me, and what helped me, carry with this lifestyle and carry with this program. But honestly, like, procrastination is like there's a saying about it, but I can't remember it right now. But I mean, if you just focus on like what a year, like you could be a totally different person, and I see it from myself. I was like, so just why wait for it? I mean, just do it. It's very simple message, really.
So one more question, because I always like to be sort of like I always like to be very realistic. What was the hardest thing in this transition for you? What was the hardest thing that you feel like it took you a lot of effort and energy to make that change?
I don't want to sound cocky, but
No, go ahead. Transparency.
but coach, as soon as he gave me those files, I was like, that's it. I just closed like the switch and I never looked back. I went straight into it.
Okay.
No complaints, no nothing. I was like, because in my head, I was like, you've done this on your own, so you really don't know what you're saying. So you just have to listen. I think in the beginning, it was hard, with transitioning from the no sugar thing, because I mean, I couldn't have anything, right? And it felt a bit limiting to me. But as soon as I started eating a little bit more protein and getting used to the fasting, I mean, honestly, I eat twice a day, and I eat meals that, they're heavy on the protein. I have like some good vegetables on there, but I eat and I feel satisfied. And when I mean satisfied is, I've never had this feeling before. So I guess one thing for me is portion control that I did find difficult, because I don't know what a good portion is. And I don't know what's intuitive eating. Like, my mind does not comprehend that. And I've tried all the little stuff, but it just does not work for me. So I tried by measuring my food to meet my macros. So that's one way that I tried to do it. But now I feel like my body's at the point where I eat, and I can say no to the leftover food. So for me, that's a big thing, like eating, and I feel satisfied. And like, if you ask me to go jump up and down 20 times, I can't do it, although I just ate. And that's, for me, it's a big thing, because before I would eat until I was like in a coma state. Sometimes I still do when the food is really, really good. But I try to, I try to tell myself, it's just food, we don't need to go overboard on it. So I think for me was definitely portion control. But in terms of like the steps, as soon as I joined, I was like, if you don't respect your time, at least respect your money, or have some respect for something like you worked for. And I think it's really important, like, you put your money where your mouth is, or I don't know the expression, but
That's the
for me it
expression.
was like, yeah, I think for me before, it wasn't about it was always like, oh, it's okay, we don't have to do it. But I was like, at least respect like the amount of time you work to actually pay for this thing, like you want to see like the investment, like, and like a return on your investment and stuff like that. So in the tough times, I was like, okay, we still have to do this thing. But for me, it was totally worth it. And I said, I'm more of a, as soon as I said yes, because I think I've done it so many times and I've tried so many times, and this was like my last chance type of a thing. So when I joined, I was very like, there's no complaining, there's no nothing, you just do it. And the good thing is, you took away the thinking for me. That's another good thing. I mean, in terms of like what to eat or not, what not to eat, I would go to the grocery store, just have my list. I was like, yeah, this is what I'm getting, and that's it. Like, no need to think about anything else. So and one also thing that I did to help me like not complain as much is to standardize as wherever I could. For example, my gym clothes, I would buy the same. I have the same. I still standardize them. The same joggers, the same sort of setup for me that I know it feels comfortable for me and I enjoy it. So I don't have to keep thinking, oh, what I'm gonna wear. Maybe let's just leave it. I have 5 sets of them for each day, and that's it. I get it and I go. The same with my food. I standardize like my lunch. I know it's gonna be eggs and maybe eggs with like an almond wrap, and that's it. Like I don't have to think, especially like when you come after gym or before you go gym, you're in that state. Do we want to go today or not? Or when you come back tired, you're like, oh, maybe I'll just eat something else. But I think if you standardize some aspects where you think you're at your lowest, I think that would help me because I had no excuses for myself. I was like, it's just there, just go. I mean, you know what to expect.
Those are two really great tips. Like, I love that. Just standardize and buy the same outfit 5 times. I love
Yes,
that. I love that.
for the gym
Try
people,
that
they think I'm
myself.
just wearing the same thing every day.
Love that. Just buy for the same outfit. It makes absolute sense. And standardize where you know that you struggle. If you come home from the gym and you're not sure what to eat, find one thing that works and just repeat. I love it. Rinse and repeat. Thank you so much, Andrea. You are an inspiration. As you know, I tell you all the time. Your achievements inside of the program is certainly a testament to what happens when you trust the process and
Yeah.
believe the science. Yeah, I'm doing that. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you so
coming
much,
and joining us
Coach.
and sharing your journey. And I will talk to you inside of our next coaching session.
Cool. Thank you so
So,
much, Coach, for having me. Thank you so
I'll
much.
do that. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum. So you ladies heard it straight from the horse's mouth. That is Andrea, and Andrea is actually still inside of our program, as she said that she has just renewed for her second year. Inside of our program is both group coaching and one-on-one coaching. So the program is actually a hybrid coaching program. So I always like to be really clear with people. It is not a PDF download. You're not told to just download this and then you're going your way. I run a coaching program, which means you have an actual coach you interact with. We are a hybrid coaching program, which is a combination between group coaching and one on one. We have weekly group coaching sessions that I do personally for your opportunity to learn, to ask questions, to get customized program. And then everybody inside of the program is assigned a success coach, a one-on-one person to accompany you through your entire journey. So we are not just an app, but yes, we communicate via our custom app. We are not just a PDF download. Been there, done that. I understand that that is not how to optimize the results for clients. We are a actual coaching program. So, if you are interested in continuing your journey, I will post the link for you to fill out the application for our program, and you are welcome. We are opening up the program, and tomorrow, actually later today, I will be making a special announcement. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that periodically I offer scholarships for our partial scholarships for our program. I always like to make that clear. They are not a full scholarship, but a partial scholarship to celebrate milestones in my life that I'd like to celebrate with my community. So we will be offering our scholarship in the next week to you guys. In about 30 days is my Oprahversary. So, as you probably know, I was a guest on the Oprah Winfrey Show. Certainly a milestone in my life that changed the whole trajectory of my life. And so I celebrate that every single year with my community. So look out for that email, because if you're here in this group, then you are probably on our email list. So look out for that email so that you can apply for our Oprahversary scholarship. And inshallah, I will talk to you tomorrow. Tomorrow, I will come back in to give one more bonus live coaching session. if you have any questions, we will post a post for Q&A. Tomorrow we will do an AMA, and Ask Me Anything. So think about it as your group coaching session with me tomorrow. We're going to post a post that tells you to ask me anything. Write your question in the comments. And tomorrow when I come on, same time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, I will go through each one of those questions and I will answer them. I will give as much detail as I possibly can. So make sure that if you ask a question, that you log on tomorrow for our live, so that if I need additional information, you can give that to me. All right. So you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Make sure that you are very specific with your goals, that you set 3 types of goals so that you will have something to work towards and achieve in every aspect of your health and wellness journey. Make sure that those goals are quantifiable. Do not set general goals like I want to be fit or I just want to lose a little bit of weight. Be very specific in your goals. And it doesn't have to be, well, this is what I want to do in the next month or even in the next year. Go with your ultimate goal, because you have to have an endpoint to work towards. So if that means you need to lose 120 pounds, don't say, well, I want to lose about 20 pounds to start off with. Say, my goal is to lose 120 pounds. I understand it may take me 2 or 3 years to get there, but I'm willing to start now and today. So, inshallah, that was helpful for you and you're able to continue your health and wellness journey. And I hope I can be of an assistance in any way via this group, via coaching, in some way for you to continue to follow and share. And let's make a healthier world one woman at a time. All right. Assalamu alaikum.